Hello, friends. I am Rose. Welcome to Story with Blue Lady, where we bring you stories full of wonder and excitement. Let's get started. Today's story is Sand and Stone. John and James had been best friends since childhood. They grew up together in a small village nestled by a river, where the days were filled with laughter, adventure, and the warmth of their close-knit friendship. Despite being different in many ways, John was quiet and cautious, while James was carefree and adventurous. They shared a deep bond. Whenever disagreements arose, they managed to set them aside, knowing that their friendship was too precious to lose. One summer, after facing hardship at home and unable to find work in their village, they decided to set out on a journey in search of employment. With only a small sack of food, a few coins, and a bottle of water, they started their trek, filled with hope and the promise of new beginnings. The journey was long and challenging, but they never felt alone because they had each other. They crossed several villages, spent nights under open skies, and encountered strangers who sometimes helped, sometimes hindered them. They walked through bustling towns, trudged through dense forests, and finally arrived at the edge of a vast desert, their most daunting challenge yet. The desert was endless, stretching as far as the eye could see, with the scorching sun overhead making their steps heavier by the minute. They had little food left and only a few sips of water in their bottle. As the day grew hotter, so did their thirst. John, with his calm nature, suggested they should ration their water to last through the journey, as they had no idea when they would find their next source. But James, impulsive and exhausted, argued that he couldn't bear his thirst any longer and demanded his share. The debate quickly turned into a quarrel, each blaming the other for their predicament. In a moment of frustration, John slapped James. Shocked and hurt, James didn't say a word. Instead, he took a deep breath, walked a few paces ahead, and knelt on the sand. He wrote with his finger, "My best friend slapped me." John, feeling a pang of guilt, watched silently as James wrote those words. He understood that he had crossed a line, and the silence that fell between them was heavy with unspoken words. The two walked on, side by side, but there was a distance between them that hadn't been there before. Hours passed, and the sun began to sink below the horizon, casting a warm glow across the desert. Just as they were starting to feel their spirits wane, they spotted an oasis in the distance. The sight filled them with renewed energy. Without a second thought, they ran towards it, cheering with joy. Reaching the cool, clear water, they dropped their bags and splashed into the oasis, feeling the refreshing water wash away their fatigue. The oasis was like paradise, a rare gift in the harsh desert. They laughed, splashed, and played like they used to as children. All tension between them melted away as they enjoyed the water, their friendship rekindled by the shared joy. However, James, in his playful excitement, didn't notice a steep edge beneath the water. Suddenly, he lost his balance and slipped into a deeper part of the oasis, unable to swim. In that moment, fear took over. He flailed and gasped, calling out for help. Without a second's hesitation, John dove towards him, pulling him to safety. Panting and grateful, James hugged his friend tightly, feeling an overwhelming sense of relief. He realized how precious their friendship was and how John had been by his side in times of need. After resting a while, they prepared to continue their journey. As they were leaving, James approached a large, smooth rock near the oasis. He took out a small pocket knife and carved, "My best friend saved my life." Seeing this, John was puzzled. He looked at James, eyebrows raised in question. James noticed his expression and smiled gently. "Do you remember when you slapped me earlier?" he asked. John looked down, a bit embarrassed, and nodded. "Yes, I remember. I feel sorry about it." James placed a reassuring hand on John's shoulder and said, "When you slapped me, I wrote it on the sand, knowing that the wind would eventually blow it away. I wanted to remind myself that the hurt was temporary, just like the marks on the sand. But when you saved my life, I carved it in stone, so that it would be remembered forever. The good things we do for each other, the kindness and love we must cherish those in our hearts, as solid as stone." John's eyes softened as he listened, realizing the wisdom in his friend's words. They hugged once more, feeling grateful for the bond they shared. As they continued their journey, they knew they would face more challenges. But they also knew that with each other by their side, they could overcome anything. Their friendship, built on forgiveness and appreciation, was as enduring as the stone on which James had written. From that day on, whenever life became tough, they reminded themselves of the words etched in stone by the oasis. It became a symbol of their friendship, a friendship strong enough to weather the storms, forget the small hurts, and hold onto the acts of kindness and love. Moral: true friendship is not about holding onto grudges, but about cherishing the kindness and support our friends show us. Let go of the temporary hurt and hold onto the love that lasts. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to stay connected with more magical adventures. Until next time.